Well, it's my absolute pleasure to chat in this role for the first time to Dean Elliott, who is the acting CEO of Harness Racing South Australia. Hopefully it's going to become a full-time role. We'll chat more about that soon. But Dean, welcome and congratulations on the new gig.
Thank you so much, Adam. It's great to be with you. Thanks so much for having me. And yeah, I'm really excited. 3 weeks into in the driver's seat, pardon the pun, so far, and really enjoying and enthusiastic about what the future holds.
Well, I know a lot about your background. Others won't, so we'll go into that shortly. But the biggest thing happening in South Australia is what's coming up on Saturday night. You have got a star-studded meeting. This Southern Cross Series never fails to deliver. I guess the locals might say, these pesky Victorians are coming over, but it doesn't matter what level you're at or where you are, that participation from the stars from elsewhere, it means a lot on the big nights.
Absolutely. And it's a real celebration of our South Australian heroes, I guess. To qualify for the Southern Cross, you need to be bred in South Australia or owned in South Australia. So we really do have some fantastic top-end talent on display, and that's right through from the driver, trainer, and of course the horse ranks as well. So there's going to be some competitive racing. There might be one or two standouts, but can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, it's terrific to see Jeff Webster back there, albeit on crutches after a little bit ambitious at the age of 66, trying to beat his mate in a game of squash on the morning of the heats the other day. So Jeff won't be driving, but he's got 4 through to the finals. And Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin, it's got to mean a lot for the brand of the sport to have the biggest names in Australia consistently coming to South Australia.
Absolutely. And I think Emma's probably got a mortgage on the 3-year-old fillies race. And then speaking of the Webster family there, I think in Cypher versus Allegan in that 2-year-old fillies clash, that's going to be a real clash of the titans as well. There probably wasn't a heap, maybe distance-wise there was a little bit between them 2 starts ago, but Allegan might not have had the best of luck. In Cypher's obviously our champ in the Breeders' Crown and hoping to go back-to-back here with a win in the Southern Cross. But I think there's probably the gap between them might not be as much as the punters think, and it'll probably come down to tactics and a little bit of luck on the night. But, I mean, in Cypher, I don't like to pick out favourites, but bred by our very own Tyson Linky in Kadena, and it's a great story. He owns her outright, and it would be fantastic to do this, quite a rare double, I guess.
Yeah, and we talk about the beautiful story around Tyson, but also the story of commitment to South Australia. Of course, from David Batty and the Buckland Park down there on the Gawler River. He's put so much into the sport. And when I had a look, he's going to have 5 runners at this meeting on Saturday night, 4 of them with his great mate, Jeff Webster.
That's right. We might be handing over a little bit of silverware to him. And it's great. And as I said, we're highlighting our stars and our heroes, and it's a fantastic night of celebration. And yes, there will be some great top-end talent on display, as we said, but I think there's a couple of divisions there where, we could get a little bit of a result. So it's not a lay down there just yet. And a lot will come down to luck on the night and so forth.
Yeah. You mentioned in Cypher against Allegan, terrific show of support for SA that they took in Cypher over there just days after she won the Breeders' Crown. You got Cobber against Art Jester in the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings. Tuppence, half a get in the queue job maybe with his class in the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings as well. But then you got Runaway Celebrity in action, Treachery as well. There's so much quality there. But beyond that, and I guess to showcase the night, tell me about the live streaming that you're going to do.
Yeah, it's really exciting, Adam. It's our first live streaming event, and we're really excited about it. Globe Derby have given us a fantastic spot overlooking the winning post and the parade ring as well. So we'll be really well positioned to bring you some great insights and coverage. We're led by Lockie Stace on the ground as our roving reporter pre and post race, and we can sort of get some insights there in terms of tactics and so forth. And then we've got a fantastic panel of form experts as well that'll sort of run through the chances of each runner and betting markets and moves and everything. So I think it's a great opportunity to tap into that market, probably in that kind of 18 to 45-year-old range, where you'd probably know from your background as well, that's where the lion's share of the digital turnover in terms of wagering is happening at the moment. And we've got some great stalwarts of our industry that have been doing an amazing job over decades in some case, and they need that next generation to come through and help. And we're starting to see some positive signs there in terms of wagering and growth there. So this is a great way to sort of acknowledge that demographic, as well as being inclusive for everyone. It's obviously in all ages of bent, but running through social media, we'll be able to sort of engage with a broader audience and really provide those insights and help educate, because I think South Australia is actually a fantastic jurisdiction if we're talking about wagering, and I know that's something we're both passionate about and experienced in, and it's it'll be a great way to educate a lot of people, provide those insights. And if you do want to win a few dollars on the night, I suggest you tip in. We've got some really good form judges there on hand to help guide the way.
Great stuff. I really like that. The narrative and being able to scratch beneath the surface and tell the stories. I mean, we've touched on some of them around Tyson Linky and Dave Batty and Jeff Webster and things like that. But every horse has got a story. We know, you and I know that better than anyone, don't we?
That's it. I can't wait to actually get there. It's not just the winning owners as well. I can't wait to meet some of the owners who are going to make the effort to be on course on Saturday night and engage with them. As you said, every horse has got a story, and especially in this day and age and with COVID and everything, it'll be fascinating. And I might have to drag a few of the owners on camera as well and pinch a microphone off Lockie and interview them on the live stream also. So there'll be heaps of content, a lot of colour, and hopefully a winner or two for the viewers.
And Dean, every person has a story. I met you through thoroughbred racing, and that's been your working life to a large extent. How did the switch to harness come about? Because that's something I did. You're following in my footsteps.
I have, and we're both Geelong boys originally as well, aren't we? So we're sort of following in footsteps from a while back. Yeah, I never really considered myself being a code switcher, but looking back, it probably made perfect sense. I had a bit of a strong connection to South Australia, having worked at Lindsay Park, and then I moved into corporate betting, also bloodstock and marketing, all within the thoroughbred sector. And that sort of probably just planted a seed in terms of wanting to switch into administration at some point in time, having, dealt a lot with some of the key segments, breeders and owners and punters and bookmakers and so forth. So I thought I had a good kind of 360-degree kind of level of experience and perspective on our industry. And being in South Australia during COVID, which is probably another story, but quite fortunately, I guess, compared to Victoria and family and friends and everything that, going through some tough times there. But very fortunate to be in SA during COVID, and this opportunity did pop up, and I thought I'd go for it. And as you said, it is an acting CEO role, but I'd love to really shape it into something more long-term. And in terms of our plan and our vision, it's certainly what can we do straight away, but also what can we plan for the future. So I'm really excited to put some of that into place going into 2022.
I'm not going to say, give me a strategic plan now when you've just sat down in the seat, but is there anything you can share with us, a little teaser about something to look forward to coming up in 2022?
Yeah, look, we've also assembled a new board, which I'm really excited about, obviously led by our chair, Emma Grigson. Everyone's got their area of expertise, so we'll really pull together those resources. And what I've been doing personally in the last few weeks is really consulting with the industry, and I think that's a really important fundamental to do in order to then put a strategic plan in place. So we're building some great momentum. We're interacting and engaging really well with our participants. As we touched on earlier, there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience there. And we want to put some things in place in order to, we want to incentivize racing in South Australia. We want to retain it, of course, but then we want to eventually grow it. So under that falls a lot, many things, but at the core of it is really growing that horse pool and obviously our talent pool in terms of participants. So creating pathways and incentivizing in as many ways as possible, and mentoring programs and all these things I'm really passionate about. In addition to sort of really driving some wagering, because as we know, that's fundamental to funding the industry. So it's very clear what the way forward is, and we can certainly forge a path. There are challenges, but I think the opportunities certainly outweigh the challenges for me. at this point in time. So that gives me a lot of optimism, and just sort of meeting with a lot of the people that have been involved in this industry for a long time now, and some of these selfless acts they do, but behind the scenes, it gives me a lot of encouragement that they're, really passionate, enthusiastic, and engaged. So I think we can work together and build a great product. And that's it. And in terms of there's so much competition these days, isn't there, in terms of, getting eyeballs and attracting attention. And I think we can work really well nationally together to create that great racing and harness racing product, because we talked about the 18 to 45 age group. We're competing with them for US sports and all these other multi-billion-dollar industries. So we really have to bandy together, create a fantastic product, and forge a path ahead. And I can see that path already taking place. So for me, I'm a realist, but I'm certainly an optimist, and I'm really looking forward to kicking off with a bang in 2022.
Well, the first thing when you go in anywhere, you got to see if the patient's got a heartbeat, and you obviously think it's still pretty strong there in South Australia. The sport's very lucky to have you. I know your background, I know your passion, and I know your commitment to what you do. So I'd love to stay in touch regularly just to find out some of the plans you're putting in place. But lovely to chat, lovely to introduce you, I guess, to a broader audience this time. And best of luck to you and the team with the big night on Saturday.
Thanks so much, Adam. Can't wait. Cheers.